Hello again, everyone. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Fox, a Cessna flight training device that I built at home. Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, the 18th of March, 2024, and again, I hope you're all doing well and safe, wherever you may be around the world. The Virtual USA Flying Club had an event on Saturday. It was a fly-in type of event to Telluride. I was really hoping to be able to make that one. It looked really fun. Unfortunately, I was unable to. So I'm going to take advantage of some time this evening, and we're going to fly into Telluride. Now, I am relatively unfamiliar with that area in general. Give me just a second. There you go, that's a little better. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it and where we're at and where we're going. So let me do this, and we are here at Foxtrot Mike November, Four Corners Regional, Farmington. Looks like it has a field elevation of 5,507 feet, and it looks like the longest runway is about 6,700 feet long. There, let's see, okay, it's a Class Delta. So there's a tower, okay, it does have an ATIS. The tower frequency is also CTAF, it looks like. Let's go ahead and confirm that, because VATSIM is now using CTAF. 118.90, 118.90, it's the same as tower. And it's Farmington, okay, Farmington ground and Farmington tower. Denver Center. It's also good to know. Okay. Runway information, 6,700 feet, 6,500 feet, so they're pretty long. But this airport's also about 4,000 feet higher than what I'm used to flying out of, with an elevation of about 1,000 feet. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and just plan a flight from Foxtrot Mike November to Telluride. And what kind of altitude should we look at here? 7,500, 13.6, 12.7, 14.6. This could be interesting. We may be at our ceiling in some of these parts. Okay. We might have to kind of do something like boom, and then maybe something like that-ish. Rob Valkyrie, good evening. Welcome in. You know, we might have to do something like that. Those mountains look awfully high. They really do. And I think service ceiling in our Hawk is 14,500, if I remember correctly. I would have to look that up to double check. Alright, what's the elevation at Telluride? Alright, Telluride's only 9,000. Well, I don't want to say only 9. I mean, that's pretty up there. Alright, what have we here? Okay. We have maybe a pass here. Do we have an opening? Can we kind of use that to our advantage? Might be able to do something like that. Okay, it's a river. So if we get a visual on that river, we can follow that river up to the airport there. Maybe. Okay, let's consider that. Excuse me. Okay, again, since I'm unfamiliar, let's see if we have anything that we can use as kind of a landmark. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to see those little bodies of water, but I'll pretty sure hopefully see this kind of bigger body of water here. So we can kind of beam that. And then hopefully get a visual on this airport. Possibly use that as a checkpoint. That body of water as a checkpoint. Groundhog Reservoir. So might be able to use that body of water as a checkpoint. We have a BOR here. Boom. Definitely can find that thing. What do we got? What do we got here? 100 miles? I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Alright, let's go ahead and pack for this. Let's choose an altitude of the only one that lets me select. Seriously? Yep, sure is. Alright, let's ensure that we have the appropriate plane. We have our Hawk XP, and we do. Make sure we use that profile. Let's pack for this. And we'll go ahead and brief this flight and everything. If everything looks good live weather wise, we'll go ahead and give it a go. If it looks bad, we'll have to get rid of the clouds and give it a go. I'm not sure I want to try and fly into Telluride on an instrument approach, having never been there. I suppose it's going to download the charts because it's an area I don't typically fly in, so I don't save it to the tablet. See, what else are we going to need to talk about? Weather. We won't spend a lot of time on NOTAMs, but weather. We need to talk about the runway or runways at Telluride. I think it's just one. It might be two. And what else? I don't know. It'll come to me. NOTAMs, weather, known ATC delays, runway lanes, alternate airports, which I'm not really going to worry about an alternate airport this evening. And then takeoff and landing performance, which, we'll talk more about Telluride here in just a little bit. I think Telluride has a pretty long runway as well. But I do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out this evening. I'm hoping it's a decent weather flight. By decent, if it's scattered, I'm good with that. If we got some broken, I'm good with that. Overcast, not so much. So let's see. I want to talk about Telluride just real quick so I know what I'm getting myself into here in my little prop plane. Winds are out of the west at 11 to 15 right now. Got a broken layer at 4,700, a scattering layer at 5,000. And again, these are going to be AGL. So those clouds are going to be, what, roughly 14,000, 15,000 feet. So that's probably going to be my ceiling. Well, that's going to be my service ceiling anyway for the plane. Temperature 6, dew point -6, altimeter 3027. Density altitude is essentially what field elevation, just about 700 feet more. Okay. Runway, there is only one runway, 0927. 09er has right traffic. I wonder what they're protecting. Probably, I bet it's for terrain, most likely. And then 27 is going to be left traffic. Okay, so they're keeping everyone to the south there. So probably for terrain. Yeah, terrain or rich folks. Could be both. Let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and brief this flight. We got everything that we need there. We'll send this over to a flight. And then we'll take a look at the briefing. What did I do wrong here? Maps. Edit. Now. Okay. There we go. I didn't have the correct time in there to generate the briefing. But ForeFlight is pulling all sorts of information from valid FAA sources. Mountain obscuration. Look south of us. Icing. This is always good stuff to know. 9,000 to 17,000. There was some moderate icing south of us. High level turbulence is way up there. We're not that high. We don't fly that high. The surface analysis. We're kinda right over here in this high low pressure system area. So let's keep that in mind. METARs. The only 3 along our route currently are all green, so it's all VFR. I don't see any of them that are reporting a broken or there's a broken there. Okay. No one's reporting an overcast though. Broken at Telluride 47. Cloud coverage. Visibility, surface winds, and precipitation. All of these symbols do actually have a meaning. It does kind of tell us wind, direction, and speed. Gives us a little bit about precipitation in the area. And it is kind of down there on that key as well. Terminal area forecast. This is kind of what could happen as we're flying, as we're en route. But everything looks green there. Doesn't look like it's going to transition to anything less than VFR. Wind chart. We're gonna have, looks like kind of having a bit of a tailwind starting off, and then kind of transitions to a headwind as we make our way up, it looks like. Vertical cross section chart. Okay. So, generally green is terrain, blue is our flight. That's our climb, cruise, and descent. Normally I don't see the green or the blue line intersecting the green. This time I do. This could be very interesting. Alright. The other thing I'm seeing right now are these blue smiley face looking things. They're not happy. It's icing. You know, these are icing symbols as well. So there's some icing there along our flight path. We do have anti-ice equipment in our 172, so hopefully we should be alright. Winds aloft, 8 knots, 3 knots, 2 knots, so not very bad, not very high winds, I guess. Then a bunch of NOTAMs that I'm going to skip over because they don't really apply to VATSIM. And there we go. Alright, weather-wise, looks like it's going to be okay. Looks like it's going to be VFR. I don't think we're going to run into anything detrimental. We just need to be able to see this terrain. We need to be able to not fly into a mountain as we make our way up to there from Four Corners Regional, Farmington. So let's go ahead and head to the plane. I will see you there in just a minute, and let's see if we can get up to Telluride. Hello again, everyone, and welcome aboard Felicity. My name is Michael, and I will be your pilot. And man, it is raining. It is raining here. That'll be alright. Hopefully, it's just temporary. Yep, I am gonna have to figure out a different place to mount this GoPro because I do keep hitting my head on this silly thing. But we are on the ground here at Four Corners Regional here in the General Aviation ramp. Let's go ahead and first, let's see, let's do some fuel calculations here real quick. Distance is 100 nautical miles. It takes about an hour flight time. I always like to land with at least an hour. So right away we know that we want at least 2 hours of fuel. I don't want to get us too heavy because we're going up into the mountains there. So maybe 3.5 hours of fuel. Let's go ahead and hop in here to weight and balance, and let's see if we can, let's see, you and I on board. If we do 3.5 hours of fuel, which is about 2,367 pounds total weight, that keeps us under gross. You and I, okay. Tell you what, let's cross load our gear. Okay, it looks good there. Yeah, let's do 3.5 hours. Total takeoff weight today is going to be 2,362 pounds. Max gross is 2,558. And empty weight is 1,751 pounds. Uh-oh, I think I just lost the GoPro. Yep, sure did. Stand by. Technical difficulties. Alright, looks like we got it back there. Done. Alright, let's apply those changes. Okay. Looks like the rain has stopped. Shiny. Alright. Let's get some lights on. And get some flaps down. And let's go ahead and do a walk around. Baggage door secure. Left rudder cables tight. Elevator, rudder free and correct there. Beacon and anti-collision light are working. Right rudder cables tight. BOR antennas are in place. Right flap is tight. We do have a strobe on the right with a green. Those lights are working. Right main looks good. Front main and strut look good. Exhaust is secure. Prop and spinner look good. Cowl flaps are opening and closing as expected. Okay, open there. Static source is free and clear. Pitot tube is warm to the touch. Let's get that load off of there. Taxi light and landing light are both working, so let's go ahead and get those loads off. Stall horn is working. We do have a strobe on the left with a red. Let's go and get those lights off. Left flap is nice and tight. Left main looks good, and since we did just get fuel, let's check our fuel caps and ensure they are installed and streamlined correctly, and they are. Okay, let's have a seat back in the plane, get our master off for now. Alright, walk around looks good, final walk around looks good there. I will go over a real quick safety briefing. Seat belts work just like the seat belts do in your car. A male portion slides into the female portion of the buckle. When you hear the click, it is secure, and to release it, just press the orange buckle button right in the middle of the buckle. 2 air vents in the plane in the upper left and upper right hand side of the plane. They work on ram air style systems, so you can't really turn them off. However, you can rotate it up or down or slide it in or slide it out. Just don't necessarily have this part aimed directly at your microphone boom, because the wind rushing past your microphone can interfere with the intercom. And if you can't hear yourself talk, then I really can't hear you talk either. Fire extinguisher is located directly behind us. Type BC fire extinguisher. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep back and forth from side to side. The exits are to your right and left. The doors open outward. And they open by pushing the handle down and pushing the door outward. If you do happen to see other airplanes while we're up in the sky, please feel free to go ahead and point them out. I do love hearing about other airplanes, especially while we're up in the sky. So if you do see traffic, please call it out. There may be a time where I need you to refrain from talking. If that's the case, I'll just hold up one finger and ask you just to kind of refrain from talking. And most likely I'll be talking to ATC if that is the case. And of course, I'll tell you when you can go ahead and talk again. If you have any questions about anything we've gone over thus far, now would be the time to ask them. Meanwhile, check time is 125.5. A lot of hours in the hobs over there. Alternate static is off. Seat and track. Let's get scooted up here so we can reach the flight controls. It feels good there. Okay. Avionics are off. Autopilot's off. Cowl flaps are open. Circuit breakers are all in. Okay. Throttle, let's get throttle to 1/4. Prop is high. Mixture's full lean. Brakes are going on. Clear prop. It looks clear in the left. It looks clear in the front. It looks clear to the right. It looks clear behind us. Alright. Brakes on. Okay. Master on. Beacon is still on from our pre-flight. Okay. And mags are going to see beacon. Okay, fuel pump. Mixture to rich. Mixture lean. Fuel pump off. Thanks, M-Stein. I appreciate that. This is the first time I tried it. I'm glad it worked out well. Okay, and mags to start. Mixture to rich. Let's go. Alright, we do have engine rotation. Oil pressure is in the green. Let's go ahead and get some lights on so that we can be seen. Let's get landing light on and taxi light on. And that completes our startup checklist. Moving along to our pre-taxi checklist. Seat belts and harnesses, let's get those on. Well, more so seat belt than harness in this case. Right, seat belts on, flaps going up. Avionics going on. ATIS, AWAS. Tell you what, let's go ahead and connect to VATSIM and see if let's give it some time for some frequencies to populate and see what we got. I don't think we're gonna have anything close by. So let's go ahead and pull X-plane ATIS 127.15.
Variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions scattered at 4,000. View at 5,200. Temperature 11. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3014. Arriving runway 25. Departing runway 25. Advise on initial contact you have information. Whiskey.
Whiskey is current.
Four Corners Regional Information. Whiskey 2235 Zulu Special. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions scattered at 4,000. View at 5,200. Temperature 11. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3014. Arriving runway 25. Departing runway 25. Advise on initial contact you have information. Whiskey. Four Corners Regional Information. Whiskey 2235 Zulu Special. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions scattered at 4,000. View at 5,200. Temperature 11. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3014. Arriving runway 25. Departing runway 25.
Alright. Altimeter 3014. Puts us right around 5,400 feet, and I'm pretty sure that confirms 5507, 54, 55. Yeah, it's about, that looks good there. Okay, we got ATIS, set the altimeter, confirmed that, transponder, let's get that on, and let's see, altimeter, altitude reporting. ADS-B is tied into our nav lights, let's go ahead and get those on. Radios, we might test here. Taxi lights were good, brakes will test on the roll, attitude indicator and turn coordinator will test on the roll. Let's go ahead and set our heading indicator to compass. What is that, west? Yeah. Right about there. Okay. Okay. Alright, I think we're ready to taxi. Let's see if we have any ATC online. I'm not sure if we do. We are on Unicom. So CTAF is 118.9er. Let's see, map overlays. One 8.9. Okay, and then we're gonna monitor Unicom on 122.8 on COM 2. Okay. So we're gonna essentially treat this as an uncontrolled field. We were taking runway 25, and I am right here at Atlantic. So Alpha to 25. Okay, manual brakes on, parking brake off. Let's go. Brake test. Okay, brakes are good. I hate when I accidentally push a button and it switches a view when I don't want it to, then I have to cycle back to the view that I need it to. What is it? Farmington traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot at the ramp, gonna taxi runway 25 via Alpha, Farmington. Alright, we're clear left, clear right. We'll go down here to the runway threshold, we'll do a run up, make sure everything's good with our engine before we take off. And we're gonna have to proceed north, so we'll figure a right crosswind departure. Alright. Just to hold short. It looks like it. Helen Killer Live, how are you, my friend? Alright, here we are. That is the hold short line. It looks like looks like there's a displaced threshold, and it looks like it slopes up. This could be interesting here. Run up. Alright, fuel's on both. Brakes are on. Trim is set for takeoff. Okay. Flight controls, we are down on the right, up on the left, and down, up on the left, and down on the right. elevator, rudder, true and responsive. Okay, brakes are on. Nothing on the annunciator panel. Mixture's full rich, 1800. Here we go. Left mag, there's a drop. Back to both. Right mag, there's a drop. Let's get back to both. Okay, let's cycle the prop. 1, 2. Manifold pressure is rising, oil pressure is dropping. That's what I would expect. Tells me my governor's working. There's 3. Suction's in the green. Oil pressure, oil temperature look good. We've got good fuel flow. Alright, let's idle back. Four Corners traffic, November 803 Foxtrot is taking runway 25, straight out departure, Four Corners.
Approaching runway 25. Entered runway 25.
I guess it would have been Farmington traffic, huh? Huh, slopes up, how about that? That's probably why they don't want you to use that park for landing. Alright, let's do center line, I think. Well, let's get over this bump here so it doesn't launch us up into the sky. Alright, full power. Yeah, that's what it did. It wanted to launch us right up into the sky. Alright, full power. Rudder for center. Alright, she's ready. Let's rotate. Positive rate. Let's try and stay over the runway. Alright, climbing out about 80 knots. Slip my right wing, looks clear. Let's go ahead and make a turn to the right. Okay, ground speed right now 90 knots, indicating 80, climbing about 500 feet per minute. Let's use this Cortez VOR CEZ 114.35. Alright, when I'm heading at about the heading that I'm on, that's gonna take us right up here to Cortez and the Cortez VOR. That'll be a decent checkpoint, I think. Alright, so let's just track this VOR in. Right now I've got it on nav 2, but I also want to put it on the GTN, see if my GPS is working now, as far as the CDI tracking the GPS. So let's put CEZ. Cortez VOR, activate. And we'll see if that, let's see. Default nav, CDI. Okay. Alright, so it's changing, so we know it's grabbing a GPS. It's shifting me off, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly the VOR2 needle, and I'm hoping that this needle will track. I guess I want to confirm nav1 is gonna follow nav2, because I know nav2 works. I want to verify that nav1 works as well. So if I turn back to the right to intercept my VOR2 needle here, then I should intercept on VOR1 as well. And it does kind of look like they're both swinging. So I'm pretty safe to say now that GPS 2 or nav 1 is working properly. So that's what we'll do. We'll follow nav 1 up to Cortez, the VOR. And then from there, we're going to proceed to the Telluride VOR, which is 116.905 cones. Let's get that on standby. 116.905. Let's get that on standby in nav 2. Okay, what's in our cruise checklist here? Throttle prop, mixture, cowl flaps as required. Well, I just closed the cowl flaps. One of these days I'll get a better understanding of what they actually do and their full purpose. But I think in cruise they should be closed. Current altitude's 8,000 feet. But it looks like I can almost reach out and touch the ground, though. I don't think we're very high AGL. 1800 feet AGL currently. Direct 2 is 334. Brian, welcome back, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I'm hoping that it does look very realistic. That's what I was going for with all the measurements and everything. I wanted to be as close as I could get it. So I'm glad that you like it and enjoy it. Alright, we're 8,000 feet. Let's get up to 8,500. Let's be VFR legal here, Michael. You know better. Alright, let's get up to 8,500. We're making our way to the Cortez VOR. DME puts it about 27 out. Alright, 8,500 feet. Let's level off here and trim for this. Flight plan. Add waypoint. Cones VOR. Add waypoint. Telluride Regional. So apparently I didn't activate that flight plan properly. Well, we've got some additional views as well, Brian, since you've been in here last. Okay, so that's in there. Well, maybe it'll switch to the next leg once I get to Cortez VOR. Man, we're kind of right on top of these mountains, aren't we? Alright, straight ahead is a very tall mountain peak, and it's probably this one that's kind of right over there. Which means I've drifted off course just a bit. Some of these craters and valleys look like they'd be fun to just kind of fly down in between, but man, I'd be so afraid I'd never get out. You're right, M. Stein. Martha probably would do it. Yeah, that looks like a fun one to drop down in. Come on, let's go. Mixture's rich, prop is high for now. Whee! Alright, kinda loops that way and it loops that way. Alright, so as long as we stay in this kinda, we're gonna watch these wind shears as we drop down in here. As long as we kinda stay in this valley, I think we're not gonna get too terribly lost.
500.
Wait, is this even wide enough for our plane? Oh, Michael, what are you doing? Hang on. Yeah, that's indeed what that is, M. Stein, is the danger zone. Alright, we're starting to get a bunch of peaks and valleys and stuff here, so let's start climbing our way out of here. We need to kind of climb up through some of these valleys so we can get back up on top. Which way looks better? To the right or to the left? I can't tell, I can't tell. Well, maybe it just opens wide up as we get over here. Sure does. Nothing quite like going from like 200 feet AJL to like 800 feet AJL. Oh, okay. Well, that does. Alright, so I added the next leg in there. Good deal. About 6 miles from the Cortez VOR, back up almost to 8,500 feet where we were. And of course it would start to rain. So I hope everyone has had a good Monday. I do want to thank y'all for coming in and hanging out for a bit. Brian says the only thing needed to make it more real would be a motion platform. Did a great job. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Playing with 3 monitors and a table works for now. Well, I did that for years myself, Brian. 3 monitors side by side on a table. And did the job. Alright, we're 4.3 DME from the Cortez VOR, and then after that we're up to the Cones VOR. Which is, okay. $116905, which I already put on standby, just like I thought I did. Okay, great. Once we switch over, we'll ensure that the station's operational before we try to track it. That was cool. Alright, so I'm still new to the 650, but it automatically zoomed in as I got closer to my fix here. That's pretty neat. And here comes the snow. The snow is brought to you by the Accumulated Snow plugin available on the xplane.org forum. It is freeware. It does ping NOAA for some of the latest snow level details and applies them in sim. Works directly on top of ortho photos. Really, really great. Alright, so we need a right turn to 011 in 7 seconds. I lift my right wing, looks clear, heading 011.
There's a river. Looks frozen. It's actually my body of water checkpoint. Okay. Alright. Checkpoint is there. Clouds could be interesting here. We'll try it. Well, we've got rain, and we've got, that's visible moisture. Temperature is 1 degree Celsius. Tell you what, I want to go ahead and turn on our anti-icing just to be on the safe side. I found it much easier to turn it on to have it keep the ice off as opposed to having it try to remove when you're already iced over. Works much better when there's no ice on there to begin with and it's warming it up and keeping it off versus trying to melt something already off. But, you know, typically a 172 doesn't have a de-icer anyway, so it's something that I outfitted the plane with. "32 nautical miles from the next VOR. We've got a total of about 50 nautical miles remaining for our flight." Now we're heading east, so I figure 9,500 for an altitude. And that cloud in front of us does not look too happy, does it? Let's just kind of steer away from that one. Yes, it did, Emstein. Our anti-ice switch did make it into the new cockpit. It's right here next to our flap switch, and we're going to turn that right back on right now. Melvin Leroy, hello. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, we're trying to get up there ourselves. I know that Saturday it was all socked in. But we're cruising along about 9,500 feet, maybe about 2,000 above the ground, hoping to get up to the top of the, not even the top, call it the side of the mountain, which is still 9,500 feet. Trying not to get rained on terribly much, especially in this -1 degree Celsius weather. Excuse me. Looks like I can kind of weave to the left and then back to the right. Okay, let's see if we can get over that peak there. Still try and be able to maintain visibility. Oh man, these clouds seems to be dropping. find a hole. Kind of seeing, I see kind of an opening at maybe our 1130 is right now, almost off of our nose. But man, it looks like it's just dropping in. "17 miles from that VOR. Alright, there's some blue. I see some blue. Of course, by the time we get over there, that hole's gonna be gone. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out with us for a bit this evening, making our way up to Telluride from Four Corners. Alright, little situational awareness. Oh, now that we're kind of clear a little bit. Suction's in the green, oil pressure, oil temperature, still good there. We still got good fuel flow. Cylinder head temperature is right around 350. Manifold pressure right around 18. Alright, so we're now 12 nautical miles away from the Cones VOR. And outbound of Cones on like a 0, let's see. Like a 090, we'll go outbound. And then that should take us to the river. And then we'll follow the river to Telluride. Can't be that hard, right? Right? Sounds good in theory. Okay. 10,000 feet. I think we can stay here. Yeah. Should be a nice, pretty flight the rest of the way in, it looks like, hopefully.
Destination AWAS is 118.325.
118.325. Let's see if we can get that from here. It's faint, but I can hear it. Winds are light and variable. Visibility is 10. There's rain. Okay, looking around, just making sure there's no other traffic in the area. One, 2, 3.0 is CTAF for Telluride, so I'll get that on standby. Okay, 2.6 DME from the Cones VOR. And then from there we're gonna track that outbound at a 90 degree, off a 90 degree radial, in the hopes that that'll take us to the river, which will take us to the airfield. Right to 098 now. Okay, and then we're gonna track this out. 090. And we're turning right into a cloud. How about that? All right. We stay here. I'm hoping we come to a pretty large river. I'm at 97 now. I should probably start thinking about climbing up. Make sure full rich. Prop high. Where are we at? 10,000 feet. Field elevation is 9,070. So 10.5 maybe. Man, I shouldn't need to be any higher than that, I would imagine, to get in there, hopefully. Not unless it's got some weird, unusual, really steep approach. Guess we'll find out when we get there. Alright, 10,500. Says we're about 11 nautical miles away. Weather, winds out of the west, so we'll land at runway 27. Okay, so we're gonna enter in on the left. So we'll enter a downwind, not so much a 45 because we're north of the field, but we'll at least enter a downwind. Cause yeah, we're not gonna we're not going to enter north of the field. We need to be south of the field. Alright, there's the river. Telluride traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, type 172 slant golf, 10,508 miles west. Going to be making a straight in left downwind, runway 27, full stop, Telluride. That cloud's looking kind of ominous there, so I'm going to kind of turn us to the right. That's going to kind of take us south of the airport and kind of get us to where we need to join our downwind at. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to use 27. I hope I can use 27. That's what I'm planning on using. Ew, what is this rain stuff? Alright, got visual in the field. I think. What? Yeah. Yeah, I can see now why they want everybody south of it. Telluride traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, 4 miles on a left downwind runway 27, Telluride. One way in, one way out. That may be, like, I did actually, I never got a chance to actually read the event briefing from Saturday. Is 27 a no-no? Can I land 27? Is it only one way in, one way out? That can't be. Alright, field elevation, 9,000, we're 10.5. Alright, let's pull the power back. Wait, what is suggested? 27 or the other one? 09. 27 is not suggested. Wait, what? Is that right? Oh, well. Man, I should have briefed this a little bit more. Now what do I do here? Runway 9 is suggested? Or 27? I'm shooting 27. We're landing 27. I planned for 27. We entered downwind for 27. We're going for 27. Alright. There we are. Kind of a beam the numbers. Okay, mixture is rich. Prop is high. Landing light is on. Fuel is on both. We got this. We got this. It's a 7,000 foot runway. Alright, we're gonna land 27. We're gonna stick this girl right down on 27. You know, they say not to exceed 30 degrees in the pattern. That's also just a... No, that's not a recommendation. They tell you that for a reason. Alright, we overshot just a little bit. That's alright. We're just gonna kinda keep this slipper right in here. We're high on that glide slope. We got some left aileron in. Let's put some right rudder in there. Make sure it's in. Still high on that glide slope. Tell you what, let's drive it right over to that center line. Get on that center line. Let's drive it right back over this way. Pull the power. Flaps 10. $80 knots, flaps 2. Whoa. Check this place out, guys. Alright. DreamNet, hello, my friend. Emstein, hopefully you didn't need the Delta Airlines feel better bag, but if you do, they live right here in the corner pocket. Telluride traffic, Skywalk 8033 Foxtrot, back taxi, runway 27 Telluride. Just this scenery, looking over, just the terrain and the mountains, and once I get off this runway, we'll kind of hop out and look around a little bit. Man, this just looks absolutely beautiful. Where's our hold short line? And it's right here. All the way across, and we are. Telluride traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, it's clear runway 27 and taxiing to the ramp, Telluride. DreamNet, we are well, thank you for asking. Hey, look, there's a parking T right over here. G. Golson, welcome aboard. Felicity, thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, okay, we are fully stopped. Tell you what, let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Let's get G5s down. We'll get avionics off. Flaps up. All of our lights but our beacon off. Mixture's gonna go full lean. Max off, master off. And now we can get our beacon off. Let's go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. And then we'll head back to the hangar and chit chat for a couple minutes and say goodnight. And of course now Denver Center is online. Telluride XP12 payware is nice. You know, I checked to see if there was additional scenery for this flight, but I didn't check for any payware. But that's good to know. I'll have to check that out there, Rob. Okay, I will see you back at the hangar there. We're all good. Cold and dark, shut down, shut down. Okay, keys out. Yes, okay, parking brakes on. Okay, alright, see you back there.
I would like to say thank you to everyone for coming in and hanging out for a bit this evening. I do greatly appreciate it. A bit of a recap. We took off from Four Corners Regional, which was Farmington, and flew north, tracked the Cortez VOR up, and then from there tracked the Cones VOR, and then followed the river up to Telluride there. All in all, this was a very fun flight. I could have done a little bit without some of the lower clouds there to see some of a bit more of the terrain, but I think it was a very fun flight. It would have been a lot more fun had I been able to, join the event with the flying club on Saturday, but I hear the weather was not all that great on that day either. But still fun, still a good flight. Let me just catch up real quick. G. Golson, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. And I think that's about it. Sorry this stream was relatively shorter compared to the other ones, but I did the conclusion to the Rebuild series prior to starting this. So 2 streams this evening. But again, I do want to say thanks to each and everyone that comes in and spends a little bit of time out of their evening with me, because I know that time is valuable and you choose to spend some of it in the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. So I think that's it for this evening. Yeah, everything went well, surprisingly. Didn't have any hardware issues, didn't have any software issues, really didn't even have any bad, horrible weather issues. There were a couple times we hit some clouds, but, we were able to get right through them without much issue at all. So, tomorrow, I think my plan is to try and join the pilot club for their weekly GA Tuesday flight. I don't know where they're flying yet. I haven't even looked. That's all up in the air. If not, we'll get and do something else tomorrow. So, that's it for me. Again, I do want to say thanks for coming in, and let's see who we can go and spend the rest of our evening with. Let's see. Alright, let's go raid. You guys might be in for a little bit of a treat. Might be a little different than what you're used to, but we're going to go and raid the Warthog project. He is doing a VR flight test, and unlike most, he actually does his flying in DCS World, so it is something a little different. For those that don't follow his YouTube channel, he has an amazing Warthog simulator, but he's got 270 degrees of surround projections. Really is kind of an amazing setup. So let's go say hi to him, and until tomorrow, I hope you all take care and stay safe. Take care of each other. I think that's important. My name is Michael. I was your pilot. It's been my pleasure, and we will see you next time. Let's go and raid the Warthog project.